Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So we'll start with Ayah 183. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. O you who believe, fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, that you may become righteous. So, uh, in these verses, that this verse and the upcoming verse, it's talking about the previous laws of fasting. So this verse came when fasting was first prescribed. Yeah. And over here it mentions as it was prescribed for those before you, and those before you meant the Jews. So the Jews also used to fast, and like those before you means that it's prescribed just like it was, just like the Jews fast. So and then next up, أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين فمن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له آه، وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. Fasting is a certain number of days. So whoever among you is sick or on a journey, then an equal number of other days should be made up. And for those who can afford it, there is a ransom, the feeding of a needy person. And then whoever does good of his own accord, it is better for him that you only and that you only fast. It is better only if you know, and that you fast is better if you only know. So over here, this again, it's the early law of fasting. So over here, it mentions ayyam mahdudat. Mahdudat is a feminine plural of this, which means a very small number of days, less than 10 days, a very short period of time. So the Jews used to fast, and I think they still fast for a very short period of time, for a few days. And this could also refer to the few days Muslims fast before the month of Ramadan, because this is the previous law of Ramadan that was revealed to the Muslims. So the fasting wasn't made mandatory in Ramadan. It was only mandatory for a few days in the months before Ramadan. Uh, and over here, Allah has given an option to those who are sick or on a journey, that they can either fast for an equal number of days on another month. So if they missed, for example, two fasts, they can fast two times when they can on 2 days, or they could pay ransom, which is feeding a needy person. So two options were given to compensate for a missed fast. And Allah also mentioned that fasting themselves is better than feeding another person. Uh, yeah, if someone can afford it, they can feed someone else. They could feed someone else, but it would be better for them to fast. And again, this is the previous law of fasting. So the current law, the one we follow now, it's gonna come up in the next ayah, in the next ayahs. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فل فليص فليصوم فليصمه ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتك ولتكملوا ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. The month of Ramadan is that in which the Quran was revealed, a guidance for mankind and clear proofs of guidance and the criterion between right and wrong. By the way, over here, Allah wants us to think of Ramadan as the month of Quran instead of the month of fasting. That's why the Quran is mentioned specifically here. The month of Ramadan is when the Quran was revealed. This relation is mentioned specifically. And the importance of Quran, the Quran is being glorified in the following statements. So, uh, a guidance for mankind and clear proofs of guidance. This further it further emphasizes on the importance of Quran in this month. So whoever of you witnesses this month, then he must fast in it. So this is the newer ruling for fasting which we follow now, and this specifies that fasting should be in this month. Yeah, so whoever witnesses this month, he must fast in it. Yes, so this also implies that the whole month must be fasted instead of the few days that they used to fast before. And whoever is sick or on a journey, then an equal number of other days should be made up. Over here, Allah has given only one choice, that if you've missed the fasts, you can only you can fast when you can fast on the next months when you can. There's no other option. There's no ransom that can be given. And then Allah mentions that Allah intends for you ease, and he does not intend hardship for you, and he wants that you should complete the count, uh, and that you should glorify Allah for having guided you, and that you may be grateful. Now, the question arises that if the duration of fasting has been increased, that the fasting is for a whole month instead of a few days, and also there's no ransom that can be given. Missed fast have to be fasted again. So the question arises: How is this ease? How is Allah mentioning that He intends ease and not hardship? Well, fasting is a way of attaining taqwa, and if you fast more days, you gain more taqwa, and if you gain more taqwa, it's easier to gain guidance. And it also mentions that and that you should glorify Allah for having guided you. So this harder test of fasting only means that we're being guided, and this is Allah's grace. So we should be happy that Allah's making it easier for us to be guided, and you should glorify Allah for having guided you, and that you may be grateful to Him. Yeah. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دعوة الداعي إذا دعاني فليستجيبوا لي وليؤمنوا بي وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. And when my servants ask you, O Muhammad, about me, and then answer them, indeed I am near. I respond to the invocations of the suppliant when he calls upon me. So let them respond to me and let them believe in me that they may be guided. Uh, Over here, it mentions that you know it mentions that Allah is basically saying, Allah is asking the believers to to ask him. Allah is telling that Allah is reminding that he is near to the believers and he will help the believers when they need help. uh, you know how important people you can call important people like celebrities. You can call them, but they probably wouldn't respond. They might only respond if you're also an important person, but if you're a normal person, they're probably just gonna ignore your message anyways. But over here, it's the opposite. Allah is asking for our help. Allah is asking us to seek help. So I respond to the invocations of the suppliant when he calls upon me. Allah accepts the requests of us because Allah is important for us. We seek His help and Allah helps us. Uh, let them believe in me that they may be guided. Yeah. It has been made lawful for you to go on to your wives the night of fasting. They are as a garment for you, and you are as a garment for them. Allah knows that you were deceiving yourselves, so He has turned to you, accepted your repentance, and forgave you. So now have intimate relations with them and seek that which Allah has decreed for you, and eat and drink until it becomes distinct from you, the white thread from the black thread of dawn. Then complete the fast till the nightfall, and do not have intimate relations with your wives while you are in itikaf, confining yourselves in the mosques. These are the limits of Allah, so approach them not. Thus does thus does Allah make His verses clear to mankind that they may become righteous. So over here, now Allah has mentioned that also the Jews used to fast in the nights. Okay, their fast used to start in the night time, okay, in the evening, and it used to go on until the next day. Yeah, until the next, you can say, morning. So the Jews, all their restrictions were in the night time, but Allah in this ayah has lifted those restrictions from the night time, which means now, yeah,
Ishfaq,
yeah,
from what I have heard, Jews back then they used to fast the whole day, like as in like 24 hours or something, like
uh,
even the day and the night both. So it was made easier for us from like
yeah,
from
yeah,
Fajr to Maghrib.
it was made easier. The Jews, they
24
also,
hours, like, so like for how
नहीं
many days?
नहीं नहीं मतलब 24 आवर्स तो मुझे नहीं पता लेकिन मतलब दिन रात दोनों थे उसमें बीच में शायद
not
थोड़ा सा
sure.
टाइम ऑब्वियसली होता होगा
Uh,
I think they started in the night, so their whole night was spent fasting. Uh, okay, so all the
yeah,
and
and
the night
restriction.
also they weren't allowed to speak either. Like if you speak, if your fast is broken,
I don't know
oh,
about that.
that's how easier it was made for us.
mm,
Okay, the Jewish rabbis, they probably messed up the whole religion. Allah
Yeah,
hmm,
always wants ease for us. So, anyways, the Jews, they had restrictions in the night, which Allah lifts in these ayahs. Allah indicates that Muslims will only fast during the daytime, and in the night time, all the other actions would be lawful. So, and also it has said, eat and drink uh, yeah, until it becomes distinct from you, the white thread from the black thread of dawn. This over here mentions Fajr time. Yeah, it basically mentions when the morning starts, and that indicates Fajr time. So, uh, and then complete the fast till the nightfall. In the Islamic calendar, the night basically starts at Maghrib. So it means start the fast as Fajr and end at Maghrib. So again, this was in contrary to the previous, the Jews fasting, which was fasting the whole night. Over here, Allah said, start in the morning, end in the evening. So it's made simpler. And the limitations of itikaf are mentioned here. And these are the limits of Allah, so do not approach them. And thus Allah makes his verses, Allah makes clear his verses to mankind so that they may become righteous. Yeah.
You scroll up, that place. Hunna libasul lakum wa antum libasul lahun. Would you have something written about this?
Uh,
It's like this ayah, like especially this part. Yasir
yeah,
Qadi, he has like a whole book on it.
a whole book,
Uh,
mashallah. Okay, so yeah, they are a garment for you and you're a garment for them. This means that it's the spouses are garments for each other. One spouse gives cover to the other. How do I explain this? It's like one spouse affects the other, in their habits, in their complete outlook. Their garments are made to beautify people. So like this relation also beautifies the character of people. As people change when their spouses can change their now a person can change their spouse in the characters, and also they can make them, they can beautify them. So that's what this could mean over here. Don't really talk a lot, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah, and also over here, I want to mention that a lot of the Muslims, especially the early converts who were Jews before, they they weren't really clear with the laws of fasting, so they didn't used to eat during the night. They didn't have iftar, and they didn't eat in the night, and they went on as if they were even fasting in the night. So Allah said, eat and drink. Allah is lifting that. He's saying, don't stay hungry when you're not supposed to be fasting. Eat and drink until it's daytime. No, eat and drink till this time. That is Fajr to Maghrib. The, the only Fajr to Maghrib you're supposed to be fasting. And the other times you're recommended to eat and drink, not stay hungry. Yeah, and also there are the limits of Allah. If Allah is limiting your fast to only Fajr to Maghrib, you don't have a right to extend that limit. Yeah, if Allah is saying this is the only time you're supposed to be fasting, that's the only time you're supposed to be, not eating and drinking. Uh, Thus does Allah make His verses. Allah makes clear His verses to mankind that they may become righteous. And do not devour your property amongst each other unjustly, and do not offer it as bribery to the rulers, that you may devour a portion of the property of the people in sin, and you know of it. Okay, over here, this is simple. It gives, uh, you know, it gives rulings on dealing with finances. Do not divide your property amongst each other unjustly. This could also come in the sense of, uh, you know, in the sense of heritage, uh, inheritance. Sorry. So, usually, not usually, sometimes when a parent dies, father or something, they leave behind the wealth, and maybe one son can take all the money, or take most of the money, and the other siblings, they don't get much or anything at all. So that is taking the property unjustly. Or it could just come in other senses too. uh, if someone offered you a loan, don't just take that loan and run away. You have to pay them back, right? Devouring property or just robbing, it's all condemned here unjustly. uh, do not offer it as bribery to the rulers. Okay, the rulers or any larger authority. Now, don't offer bribery, that you may devour a portion of the property of the people in sin. And it, bribery is basically paying someone to do something that's not right. If the other person is disagreeing, doing something, you can pay him to get the work done. This is strongly condemned here, as you're only going to be bribing someone against something, or to do something that's going to harm someone else. So that over here, it mentions that uh, you devour a portion of the property of the people in sin. uh, yeah, you devour a portion of the property. Again, it's like it's, some form of damage. And it, obviously you're paying bribery because you know the outcome, and you want the outcome. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.